It's been so long since I've last filmed a video that I could not for the life of me find my microphone, which is why we're going to be using this little earpiece today. And I hope that it produces good enough audio, but if it doesn't, sorry in advance. So welcome to Veggies and More. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alina. I'm a registered dietitian. And today I wanted to share with you a recipe that can help keep you hydrated in these last weeks of the summer. We're actually currently experiencing a bit of a heat wave here in the Netherlands. Who says heat wave says a lot of sweating, so a lot of fluids that need replenishing. And although I am a registered dietitian, I'm admittedly not the best at hydrating myself. So if left to my own devices, I would probably just drink coffee or iced coffee all day long, which is definitely not something that I recommend you do or that I do. So I have to get a little bit creative when it comes to drinking fluids so that I get interested in drinking them, because plain old water is very often a bit boring to me, so it doesn't really appeal to me, which is probably why I don't like to drink it. But with that said, in this video I wanted to share a recipe for hibiscus tea, which can be drank both hot but also cold, which makes it really interesting. And I got inspired to do it because last summer was my first summer of gardening, and I picked all sorts of plants that could primarily either be cut flowers to beautify my home or things that I can eat or create things to eat or drink from. And in that mindset, I bought a hibiscus plant, which is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It makes beautiful flowers. But last year I didn't use it to make anything, and this year I thought, let me just try to make something from it, and I came across a hibiscus tea recipe. It apparently tastes a little bit tart, like cranberry juice, so I'm really looking forward to that as an alternative to lemonades or to smoothies, which I've been relying on so far. And the really cool thing is that you can apparently also use it to make popsicles for your children, so that's a really good alternative to the popsicles that you can buy in the store that are very often full of sugar. So without any further ado, let's get into the recipe. It's a really simple one. All you need are some fresh hibiscus flowers. Alternatively, you can also get dried hibiscus flowers from an Asian supermarket, or you can probably purchase them online as well, but I have fresh flowers in my garden, so I'm gonna go for that. So if you're using fresh hibiscus flowers, you wanna remove the calyx, which is the green little part at the base of the flower to which the stem is attached. And then you can also remove the pistil, which is the thin thread-like tube that's in the middle of the flower and that has the pollen attached to it. If you want, you can choose to keep it. I chose to remove it in this case, so I've basically just used the petals. And then you can give the petals a quick rinse in cold water. And the amount of petals that you'll need will depend on the amount of tea that you want to make. It's usually, for fresh petals, a 1:4 ratio, so 4 times more water than petals. In my case, I had about 1 cup of fresh petals, so I've added 4 cups of water to a pot and boiled it. And once that's boiled, or it starts to simmer, you can remove it from the heat and add it to your petals and let steep for about 10 to 12 minutes. You really want to be careful here to not let it steep too long, because apparently if you oversteep the hibiscus petals, the tea will become very bitter. So if you don't really like very bitter teas, then don't oversteep them. And once the 10 to 12 minutes are done, all you'll need to do is strain the leaves out. In my case, I don't have a strainer. I don't know why I've never purchased one, but I haven't. This makes me think that I should probably purchase one. But anyways, you see that I'm struggling here a little bit to take the petals out, and then use a cheese-making cloth to drain the rest of the liquid. And I'm spilling, of course, quite a bit of liquid, so don't follow my method. Get a strainer. But this worked nonetheless. I lost a little bit of tea, but hey, it's not the end of the world. And then I let it cool down on the counter before putting it in the fridge. Alternatively, you can also just add a whole ton of ice to it so that it cools even faster. I prefer to try mine cold because of the heat wave, so I think it's going to be a little bit more refreshing. So I'm going to be putting mine in the fridge, and then once it's cold, take it out and enjoy it. You can also add all sorts of other things to this tea when you're steeping it. For example, I've seen recipes where you can add lemon zest or basil or mint, and you can also sweeten it with a little bit of maple syrup or a little bit of sugar if you so choose. I haven't done that to mine yet because it's going to be the first time that I'm going to be tasting it, so I want to adjust the flavor based on how I find it in its natural form. Then to make popsicles, all you'll have to do is pour the fluid into popsicle molds and then place everything in your freezer until they are set. And that's it, a simple, easy breezy recipe that will keep you hydrated this summer or in this end of the summer. And of course, you can also use it in the winter if you want to go for a warm hibiscus tea. I hope you enjoy it. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other suggestions on how to stay hydrated in a heat wave, feel free to leave them down below as well. Like I said, I'm not the best at hydrating myself, so any recommendations or interesting ways that you've found that help you drink more are absolutely welcome. And with that said, that's it for today. Until next time, ciao ciao!